Welcome, foolish mortals, to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. I am your host, Count Simon Gauntly, and each episode I'll be leading you on a journey through the history of film. Specifically, we'll be exploring that eldritch abyss known as the public domain. These are films forgotten by time or abandoned by their creators. The strange, the horrifying, the poorly and cheaply produced. All of these are the purviews of the public domain. So what are we waiting for? Come, join me in my crypt. It's bigger on the inside. Come, join me.
There lived a man so long ago, Count Gauntly was his name. His horror host abilities had brought him wide acclaim. The people flocked from miles around each Gauntly movie night, not knowing that the films he showed infringed on copyright. Upon discovering this fact and learning it was true, an angry mob of lawyers formed with pitchforks, torches too. They tracked the Count and sought to stop his movie hosting ways, and torches blazing put an end to Gauntly's earthly days. But our man was too resilient to let death be the last word. He stirred, sat up upon his slab and vowed he must be heard. So he stocked his tomb with gadgets from the local studio, intent on showing movies on an awesome TV show. But he had to find a legal way, so Gauntly racked his brain. 'Twas then he learned of something called the public domain. Now here he is, the time has come, his dreams are coming true. Count Gauntly's here to share a film in hopes that you won't sue.
Oh no!
Get you! Get!
Oh
Get.
man, what you gotta be so rough for?
Gosh.
I don't even know why we're here.
Welcome to hell. Well, Hell's Kitchen. You have been condemned to hell because you're not abiding by kosher's rules. You drink blood willy-nilly. You do all this stuff. You wear two different fabrics at the same time. I mean, who does that?
I mean, when it's cold, you need it.
But where else did you expect to end up? Like, not hell? Like, come on.
I guess we have been living a little fast and loose with the law of Leviticus, so.
Yeah, so.
Really, it makes sense, I guess. So where, you said Hell's Kitchen.
This is Hell's Kitchen, yes.
So they make the demon meals here and all that stuff?
Yes, we demons of hell do like our feasts, and we do enjoy food. So we are fair, and we have a challenge set for you.
A challenge?
If you can create a devilishly delicious feast for us, we will send you back to the crypt. It will your weird home place, I guess.
Huh. So the only way we're gonna get out of here is if we pass another test. We got another person here just telling us what to do, evaluating us. It's just the same old thing. But I mean, it's just.
Except that can actually cause some serious damage, unlike anybody else.
I guess that's true. That's certainly true. So, I mean, this looks like a pretty familiar kitchen setup. You know, I think we can work with what we got here, and if there's one thing we're good at, it is making hellicious foodstuffs. Wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
And so that's exactly what we're gonna have to do. So let's rub our hands together and through some movie magic, we'll cook up something to please the demon.
Goody good morning, you ladies. This is your friendly chef bringing you your daily baking recipe. And this one takes the cake. Today we're baking a delicious, tasty gingerbread. Yes, we are. Are we ready, cookies?
Uh-huh. I'm ready.
Good. First, we break one egg, and I'm not joking. Now, 3 cups of flour, 2 cups of milk, cups of sugar, and then just a bit of salt.
Hey, not so much.
Add a dash of ginger. Now, some mustard, cider, vinegar, salt, vanilla, nutmeg, pepper, malt, sugar, spice. That'll suffice. And a cake of yeast. Now, beat it. Oh, not you, the batter. Fast, faster, 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 faster.
Stop!
Pour batter into gingerbread mold. Place in oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And now, relax. Simple as pie, isn't it? Skill with a skillet is how you fill it. Well, that's all for today. Listen in tomorrow for your friendly chef with his daily tips on how to raise the dough.
What am I doing here? I'm supposed to be in Cake Land.
Gee, you can talk and walk.
And run, too. Well, so long. I got a date with a cake. And I'm late.
Hey, wait for me, wait.
Run as fast as you can if you want to go with the gingerbread man.
Gingerbread boy, where are you? Here you are.
This is Miss Angel Cake, my bride-to-be. We're getting married today, she and me.
Married. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Come on, let's go.
She's mine. Mine. If anyone knows why these sweet things should not wed, speak now. Stop.
For heaven's sakes, angel cake.
Now, actually, Mr. Demon King, do you have a name, by the way?
I'm just the demon.
Fair enough. I guess they don't differentiate or discriminate. Just a demon is a demon is a demon. I can get behind that.
It's
Anyway,
easy to remember when you have relatives.
yeah,
Just title them all demon and you're good to go.
absolutely. Anyway, it's a good time of year to be preparing food because it is the Thanksgiving season. Are you familiar with the concept?
A little bit. I was sort of there when it happened.
Okay, well, we meet up, we put some food together, and so seeing as it is that time of the year, we just happen to have some food on hand. I was carrying around some of these in my pocket. These are, well, they're sometimes called century eggs, sometimes called 1,000-year-old eggs, also known as pedan eggs. And you know what they say? It's better to be peed off than peed on. And even though they bear that name of being a century old or a millennium old or what have you, most are actually only a couple months old. And the process by which they're made is that the Chinese farmer or whoever ends up preparing them, they'll take the egg from the chicken. These are actually from a duck. And they wrap the egg up in a caustic mixture of lye and ash and a lot of gross stuff that you wouldn't think you would want on an egg or anywhere near an egg or anything that you were going to eat. But somehow 1,000 years ago they figured out that this was a good way of packing an egg to preserve it. And so it gets buried in the ground for a couple months, not centuries or millennia. And the chemicals, they go to work and they turn into very interesting colors, as we're going to see here. And you know, because I got my connections with the goddesses of time, I actually hooked us up with some real millennium-old eggs, believe it or not. And so we can take some papers here. Here you go. You can go to work. You can go chippy chop that egg to break that shell off so we can show the folks at home. I see you got this camera set up here. That's convenient.
Cool.
You know, we couldn't spend a month in hell and not be able to broadcast, so I like that you got the cameras here.
Oh, yes, yes.
We only have the finest of things down here.
So as it's coming open, you might see that there are patterns on the surface of the egg. They look like little ice crystals or pine branches. Sometimes in Chinese, these are also called pine eggs. This fine little filigree type little branching patterns. Take a whiff of that, my friends. How would you describe that fragrance, Blizzard Wizard?
I would say it smells rather like ammonia. Smells a bit like the pee that they used to pee on them with. It smells a bit like
I
my.
can see that.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese name for these actually translates to horse urine egg because of that presence of ammonia that you're talking about. No horse urine is actually used in the production, but
Yeah.
you know, just emulating the experience of the horse urine.
And you know, these eggs are green. You know what else is green? Tanks. Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. I guess that's more like an airplane gun, but yeah, a tank could have one of those
Oh,
if
well.
it wanted. Who are we to oppress tanks? Okay, and as we open these up, take a look here. You see, it's vaguely translucent. It's kind of become gelatinized. Comes apart in these little filmy pieces. Very interesting color. It's like blackish outside on a kind of green, slimy inside. How does that strike you, Demon King?
It's a very interesting texture. It's not what I would have expected.
Let's give it a taste. See what you think. You know what? Why hold back? Just take a big old bite, big old gelatinized bit here. We'll take a taste of that. So, commentary, does it meet up with its ghoulish appearance in terms of taste?
I believe it does. I mean, I still think you can do a little bit better based on what I've seen you do in years past. So,
Okay.
but you know, maybe like a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
All right, that's fair, I suppose. Let's plate up some of this. I got my egg slicer here. Gonna. Blizzard Wizard, would you do the honors?
Nice.
And that's no yolk. Actually, it is a yolk, so that was not the best joke. It wasn't even a joke. Gonna make this artsy here. We'll spread it out a little bit. Do our brush. We'll make it look fantastic for you by the end of the program. No matter what your Thanksgiving misgivings might be, we're gonna be professionals here, and you're gonna be impressed. I know it.
I know it too.
Stay tuned.
There are those who would say that the story which follows could happen only in a dream. Regardless of where it could happen, this is the way it did happen. The story involves Bill Dudley, a mighty darn good wholesale bakery salesman, a character named Red, who actually is nothing more than a file clerk, and one named Whitey, who is similarly employed, so to speak. It all starts in this rather strange and out-of-this-world office, which keeps the sales records of every wholesale bakery salesman on Earth. Or so the story goes. Whitey is entrusted with the records of good salesmen. Red, the other kind. Now it seems that Red and Whitey never see eye to eye on matters. Naturally, this leads to many arguments. Our story opens in the midst of one of them.
Must you beat on that confounded thing all the time?
I am not beating. I'm playing.
Well, whatever it is, it sounds awful.
You're just peeved because another breadfruit salesman has been transferred from your record to mine.
Bill Dudley. I'll get him back on my records again. He's my kind of a salesman, that boy. Down, down, down. Marvelous record.
But what about this? Which, of course, is the reason he's now in my ledger.
Strictly a temporary condition. Why, at the slightest excuse, he'll slip back into his old habit of taking life easy. The way a smart salesman should.
You're talking through your horns again.
Wouldn't want to make a little bet on that now, would you?
Like what?
Oh, say, a new set of asbestos points for my pitchfork against a new set of strings for that thing.
On the level?
Strictly on the level. Of course, if you're afraid, it might...
I don't frighten easily. Go on.
Well, now, suppose an attractive young lady were to ride the route with this Bill Dudley. Say she's a magazine writer and is after material for an article. Say she makes fun of the way he works. That's all it'd take to get him back into my way of selling again.
You think so, huh?
I'm willing to bet on it.
So I gather. But how could we up here fix it so that a magazine writer down there... Oh, no. No, not me.
Why not? The trip will do you good.
Of course, I haven't been down there in a long time. Even on business.
That's the way to talk. And perhaps, as a little added distraction from his work... yes. But perhaps something a little more... Or perhaps even...
Oh, no, don't you dare. No magic and no miracles. It's against the rules. If I go, I'll go like this.
How dull. All right. Is it a bet?
All right, it's a bet. I'll put this Bill Dudley to the test.
Let me see if I got this whole thing straight now. You're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do an article on modern food merchandising.
That's right.
And the boss said it was okay for you to write with me today.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's okay with me then, but I'd sure have a tough time making my wife believe this one.
Well, so would I.
Come on.
Well, that's how Whitey started out to prove her point. But Red was not far behind.
Hey, you're not down here just for the ride, you know. Start working on the guy. We got a bet on.
Say, you know, this seems to be an awfully dull job that you have.
Oh? What gave you that idea?
It wasn't my... I mean, well, after all, it is just a delivery man's job, isn't it?
Young lady, take it from me. Any guy who thinks this is just a delivery job belongs in a coal truck, not a bread booth. You sit there. I'll be right back.
Well?
Well, I told him I thought he was a dope not to work it, to be the first one in every day.
Good.
I told him I thought all this push on getting good displays, just a lot of front office talk.
Couldn't have phrased it better myself.
Why keep a close check on how your load's going, I said. You can always dump it on the last half dozen stops.
Excellent. And what did he say?
Nothing. That's the trouble. He just sat there listening and looking very thoughtful.
There, you see? What did I tell you? My bet's practically won.
Gee, you know, I would have sworn that nothing could make him slip back into his old selling ways.
Must be new on the force. Okay. You've talked. I've listened. Now it's my turn. I talk and you listen. First of all, take a look. A loaf of bread. An important food, a healthy food, and a basic food that can be served in more than 100 different ways. And give a look. Not just one kind of bread, but a whole variety. And not only bread, but a whole variety of all types of baked goods.
Are you, by any chance, trying to say that you think this business of yours is important?
That's exactly the way I feel about it.
Uh-oh. There's something about that guy's tone of voice I don't like.
But just because we're important in the food picture doesn't mean a guy can sit back and take it easy on this job.
Why not?
Well, because folks have to go to stores to buy my stuff.
So?
So, in these stores, there can be as many as 3,000 different food items that are just itching to latch on a part of their food money.
including a few other brands of baked goods. So it's one great big scramble. Up and down the aisles the shopper goes, and what she'll buy, nobody knows. For sure, that is. But every food item tries to make the grade by looking so doggone good she just can't resist buying. Appetite appeal, we call it. And how do you get it?
That's just what I was going to ask you.
Well, one way is to let the shopper see the actual product. Yes, sir, you can write this down in your notebook. For making the best impression, nothing beats seeing the actual product. Now, one way to get it is with modern packaging. But that's not all. Now, for best appetite appeal, you also have to have good displays. Displays that sell. And believe me, top salesmen are using all the tricks in the book to get them. Tie-in displays with go-together food products. Meal suggestion displays, and a lot of others. So when you stop and think about it, this job of mine is anything but dull.
But still, doesn't it get monotonous doing the same routine things every day?
Every day is different on this job. Every store is different, depending on what bullseye I'm working on.
Bullseye?
Sure. You know, a while back I decided this could be a better paying job if the guy used his noggin. That's when I set up 3 bullseyes. Here they are. Grocer goodwill, plus volume, and selling displays. The things I'm aiming for in every store on my route. Anytime you can do something to make yourself better liked in a store, or up the volume in a store by even 1 loaf of bread, or get a new display idea, can mean more dough. I'm just crazy enough to like the feel of more money. That's why I keep aiming for those bullseyes. Well, I better wind up Nellie and get going.
Huh. It's jerks like that that end up as supervisors.
You know, when I first started on the route, I acted like it was nothing more than a delivery job. Take this grocer goodwill business. Know how I used to go after that? Why, I used to go into stores and slam doors and...
Hiya, Duffy, old boy. How's the old miser today? Counting your gold again, huh?
Sorry, Duff. No harm done, huh? See you again, Duff.
It must have been awful.
Well, maybe it wasn't quite that bad. Anyway, today I go after a grocer's goodwill a little different. I'll show you. Morning, Mr. Marco.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm a feel lousy.
No, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, something new. Say, these are pretty slick.
You noticed that, eh?
Sure did. Yeah, I bet your customers will go for them, too.
With my customers, maybe yes and maybe no. We'll see.
Go on, you know doggone well they will. Be right back. You see, I want every grocer on my route thinking,
that Bill Dudley is okay. Never slams doors. Always seems friendly, always got a smile. Always interested in my store, treats my place with respect. Never slams his trays around or makes a nuisance of himself. I like to do business with salesmen like that.
believe me, building up goodwill is important. Without it, you get nowhere in selling today. Look, why don't you stay here and rest a minute while I go in and check the sales? Don't run off now.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it.
I don't like the way that guy's yakking.
I do.
You would. If you want my opinion, he's in a rut.
Oh, well, if you want mine, he's in the groove.
Thanks for the match, lady.
What match? Oh, yes, you're welcome.
Haven't I seen that guy before somewhere? Now, I was going to tell you about the second bullseye of mine, plus volume. One way to go after it is to use this and this.
What's this?
That, my young lady, is my business Bible. I've got a complete and up-to-date picture on every stop on my route. I know exactly what sells in each store and what doesn't. I know what new items I've tried in each stop, how each one is done. No guesswork. The facts are all there, and they're up to date. Well, team up these facts with a little bit of this, and you can go after plus volume without the risk of getting stuck with a lot of returns.
So a guy gets returns. So what? Let the boss worry about him.
Here's something else a fella can do to get plus volume. Watch me in here. Say, Mr. O'Connor. Yes, Bill? I'm, putting in a half a dozen of these new sweet doughs. They went over so good last year, we're running them again. Since it's a good profit item, I'm sure you want to keep an eye on them, see how they're going. Here's a sample. See for yourself how good they are.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
You see, talking it up is another key to getting plus volume. You can get in a good plug when you introduce a new package, a new product, or a special. The more you talk it up, the better chance of getting him to push it.
But what was all this mumbo-jumbo business with so many of this at so much and so many of that at so much at the last store?
Oh, the count check. That's something I always do before I put the stuff on the shelves. Avoids mix-ups later on. And this is especially important in big bakery departments. You see, in supermarkets, there are a lot of bakery salesmen coming in. And the count check also reminds the grocer of what baked goods of mine he's got to sell. The better he knows my products, the better chance of getting his help in selling them. And that makes for plus volume for me. And then there's that third bullseye of mine, selling displays. You know, that can be a little rough. You see, well, take this route of mine. I've got all kinds of bread racks and display shelves. Some of them are pips. I guess other guys' routes are the same way. I used to give up easy on displays. I had only one rule I followed. As long as the stuff didn't fall on the floor while I was there, it was okay. No more, though. And believe me, there's no trick or mystery to building good selling displays. Just stack the bread so the brand name shows best, and shows off the bread to best advantage. And give the specialty loaves the best display space. And don't squash bread to get it in. If a store is selling more bread than I got room for in my display space, I talk to the grocer about giving me more room, say near the checkout counters, or on the counter next to the register. Now, baked goods are impulse items, too. So I always display them as near eye level as I can, so they're easy to see and easy to reach. When you figure a shopper spends an average of only 35 seconds in a baked goods department, there's not much time for your display to work on them. So display it within easy reach, group the items together, keep from burying any item out of sight. But you know, a lot of the other bread boys are doing that much. So how do you get the jump on them? With special display and promotion ideas. Take the other day. I noticed the stop on my route was running a special on hamburger. Okay. So I talked the grocer into including rolls and a special display next to the hamburger. That's where getting goodwill pays off. If you got the grocer's goodwill, you can get extra selling displays in the store built around special promotions. Picnic displays, especially good just before holidays and weekends in summer. School lunch idea displays, especially good in fall. bed and breakfast displays, or any others that tie in with national promotions. Seasonal promotion displays, fruitcakes around Thanksgiving and Christmas, hot cross buns and Easter cakes at Easter time. Displays that suggest ideas for all types of entertaining. And I use all the banners and cards and streamers or printed promotional material I can get. Anything to give any display more sell. But all this talk of mine boils down to just this. This is a tough business, a mighty competitive business. But for the guy who aims for grosser goodwill, plus volume, and selling displays, it can be a darn good one, too.
Well, now, that was quite a speech.
Oh, I'm sorry if I bored you.
Bored me? Oh, no, quite the opposite. But tell me, how in the world do you get all of those things done?
Oh, the whole secret to that is taking it in small chunks. Maybe one week I'm shooting for special displays in 10 of my best stops. Next week, 10 more, and so on. After all, that's only 2 a day. Or maybe my goal for this week is to spend a couple of extra minutes in my biggest volume stops just to work on goodwill. Always got something cooking at a few stops. Always something aimed at one of these bullseyes. Grosser goodwill, plus volume, selling displays.
And are you sure nobody could unsell you on these things?
Not a chance. I like the payoff too much.
Well, don't you ever slip up?
Sure, I'm just as human as the next guy. That's why I keep these bullseyes handy, so that a small slip-up doesn't turn into a big trip-up. Well, off to the races. What do you say?
Grosser goodwill, plus volume, selling displays. Okay, so you want to bet. But Bill Dudley's just one guy.
Oh, well, maybe I better drop down and see some of the other fellows on your list.
Oh, no, you don't. After all, that was only a bet. But from now on, I'm going to keep a pretty close watch on these guys.
And so will I.
Next up on our monstrous menu, we have a French delicacy that is often parodied and panned, and now it's canned. We've got escargot, the name of both the singular and the plural. And for those of you not in the know, escargot means snails. Got some shells here and some innards. Take a whiff of that. How do you feel about that?
Very horrifying, which I love. It's my favorite so far.
Certainly is. Has a tang of fish, I'd say.
It's pretty nice.
It's got well, they're gastropods, so similar to things like slugs, obviously, but also other mollusks, such as squids and octopi, and even things like scallops and other bivalves. So it's a very broad family of animals.
What about sea cucumbers? Are those in there anywhere?
Ooh, is this going to be on the test? I'm not exactly sure. The way we prepare these, though, is we're going to take these snail innards. You see that there. And we're going to take each one and place it carefully into a shell, a spiral shell. So something along, I don't know, those lines. There it is. It's in the shell. It looks like it could just walk away. And we're going to set them up, do like that. And while my chums here, the Blizzard Wizard and our adjudicator, the demon here, are stuffing those shells, so get cracking. I am going to prepare a nice butter and garlic sauce for our snails, our escargot. the procedure for preparing the sauce is to take 6 tablespoons of butter, almost a whole stick. Let me see, I'll get my butter knife to knife my butter. Here we go.
Hey, Gauntly.
Yes.
You know what these snails have?
What do they got?
They have a protective outer layer. You know what else has a protective outer layer?
What else has a protective outer layer?
A bank.
A bank?
Bank's given.
Oh, because they got to protect their money and stuff. I get it.
Yep.
Here we go. I got a whole stick of butter, and I'm going to do my best to get this onto the snails here. Here we go. Good wad of butter on each of these snails here. Let's see. We want to make sure this lines up. Get them nice and buttery, all up in the orifices. Come on, you guys. You're going to like this. Butter on the snails. Butter on the snails. Once they are all stuffed, you guys can help me with this buttering. Just gotta get some butter in each one, a little bit, a lot for that one.
Maybe do a half.
Yeah. Okay.
Just thanks.
And then to this butter in a moment, we're gonna be adding some minced garlic, 1 clove's worth. So I'll go and get some of that. Once these are all hunky-dory and sufficiently buttered. But can you ever really have enough butter? You just gotta get in there with your fingers and just... We're boning up on our butter massage. As those of you who have been faithful Gauntly fans for a long time will remember, we applied this method to our vulture chick on our very first Thanksgiving episode 2 years ago. You know, it's coming full circle as we butter these spiral sea creatures. Ah, fine work, gents. You may not need a full 6 teaspoons of butter, 6 tablespoons, but I mean, maybe you're Paula Deen or somebody and you just need it. And now the real challenge. With buttered hands, can we open a jar? It remains to be seen. Hey, I did it. I guess I don't even know my own strength. Ooh, smell that. That's pretty unironically fragrant. Full. It smells nice. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll take a little bit of this, get this on each of their little snail bodies, snail heads. And here, you want to grab a spoon? You want to help?
I want to just get in
help
there
with this
like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, why am I even using utensils here on this program? Let's just get some garlic in there.
Not a cooking show.
And so the next step that we're gonna do here is we're gonna take these and we're gonna place them in the oven at 400 degrees. This is to get the copious butter we just applied to melt. And we're gonna let them sit for a couple minutes, and hopefully we're gonna have some tasty escargots. Ooh.
Nobody actually ever sees my hands, really. Only a select few get to see them.
I guess we're part of an elite club, but I hope that doesn't happen again. Now, for you at home, I've put in a little bit of behind-the-scenes work for our main course here with the Demon King. And now I know that you here in hell, you like things down in the depths, right? Down in Subterranea, just like us. So for our main course, our entree, we've really gone down to the abyssal crevasses of Earth, which the deepest depths are found beneath the ocean. Maybe you knew. Of course, I mean the deepest depths other than your domain. Yes, of course.
Why you gotta be stepping on my domain?
I'm sorry about that. If there's one thing I respect, it's domains. But we got a sea critter for you here. We've got some genuine octopi here. Boil them up nice. But the aftermath of my preparations are what you see here before you. We've got Inky and Pinky here. You want to scoop one of those things up, Blizzard Wizard? lift it up here. These wonderful tentacled creatures, very Lovecraftian. I think they'll suit your palate. Take a sniff of that. Smell everything.
Very, very devilish.
It's got a little bit of a zesty tang to it because we've brined it and prepared it with lemons here.
You know the thing about octopi?
What about octopi?
They have 8 expertly crafted tentacles, and you know what you can do with tentacles or arms?
What can you do with tentacles?
There's nothing I love more than a good spanking, which is what you can do with 8 arms, like Spanksgiving.
Spanksgiving, oh, now I get it. All right, that was a little odd, but whatevs, it's all in the spirit of the holiday.
You know it.
And we've boiled them up nice. You could eat them now. We're actually gonna add old reliable salt and pepper, jazz it up a little bit in the simplest way we know how. And then, ooh, yes, dress it up a little nice there. Wonderful. Ooh, a little additional lemon juice. Digging it.
Yep. There you go.
And then it's going to go into our oven. And we'll do that in just a moment. Ooh, take a look here, Demon. We're going to bring out our escargot here.
Ooh.
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 Let's take a look at that. Ooh, it's making a sizzling sound. That's what you want to hear.
I hear that sound all the time down here.
I can only imagine. Here we go. Taking now our octopi. And we're going to give them the same fiery fate as our last dish, as is only appropriate here in Hell's Kitchen. So you're going to put those in at 350. So bring the temperature down a little bit. And hit that at... If you manage that, we want another... There we go. Perfect. Another 10 minutes on the oven there for our octopi. We've sat down to our repast here. I'm going to carve it up. We've got our very photogenic octopus here. You'll see, here, I'll dangle that up some. You see these long, majestic tentacles in action. Got a nice patina on there. And so we are going to plate up and see what you, Mr. Demon, think of our dishes for today. So,
well, so far it looks delicious already, so I'm very excited.
See, now, one of the finer points of preparing octopus is trying to make it attain such a toughness that it is actually fairly manageable. You don't want it to be super duper tough, but because of the cartilaginous quality, it often becomes that way. Quite hard to chew through or cut through or what have you. So, yeah, it's coming, it's coming.
You know
what? What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, this octopus, it smells rather rank-given. It smells kind of stinks-given, and it makes you want to have a nice octopus drinks-given.
So what's in that container there?
In here, there is some delicious, nice octopus grease. I believe it's just a mix of salt and fat.
Basically everything that came out of the pan,
yeah.
right?
So I'm gonna, if we'd all care to have a tiny swig of this.
Yeah, help yourself.
Smells a bit like, tastes a bit like octopus Gatorade of some sort.
Yeah. Octopus sports drink. And you know what? This is proving kind of tough. So what I'm going to say is, as always on Gauntly, just help yourself, you know?
Okay, just...
God helps those who help themselves, and I'm sure the devil does the same. And so just get off little bits for yourself. Help yourself to the snails too, and the eggs, and all those things. And then tell me what you think. Quite lemony. Give me some of that egg.
I can taste the butter in the
escargot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this turned out pretty well, but I'm waiting on pins and needles to hear your thoughts.
That escargot is positively delectable.
Indeed.
So what do you have to say? What's your verdict? Demon?
You all have passed this challenge.
All right.
But because I like your cooking too much, you are doomed to stay here as Hell's Kitchen cooks for the rest of eternity.
Oh no! What? We did too good a job. Now we're stuck.
It's not good.
What do we do?
I don't know.
Well, you know, I feel like maybe what we've done today doesn't quite get across the point of Thanksgiving. It's not just about cooking food, Demon.
Yes, it is. It's only about
The
food.
morals.
Yeah, it's really about coming together with friends and family in the spirit of fellowship, of celebrating the bounty of your harvest, whether it comes from the land or the sea or the sky. And so the food is really almost incidental. It's just sharing the fruits of your labors with the people that you care about. So please, just give us a chance to teach you and the rest of the denizens of this infernal hellscape the true meaning of Thanksgiving. Please.
One shot.
All right, let's go. Do your finger snap thing.
Off to wherever we're going.
Happy Thanksgiving! Woo!
Well, that was actually a really awesome party, guys. Like,
That's the only way we do them.
I was really surprised. I didn't know that I had so many demon friends. Like, I never go outside anymore.
It's just a whole ream of demons. Demons on demons on demons. And I'm glad that you enjoyed our cuisine that we've prepared. So now that you've seen it all, seen our full Thanksgiving might brought to bear here in the Kingdom of Shadows, can we go home?
I guess. I guess you all can go home.
Excellent.
But, you know, don't be surprised if I decide to come in and pop in on you every once in a while, because you all are really good chefs, and I would really like some of the other stuff that you guys have made.
Well, that's great to hear, Mr. Demon King. And so, from here, in Hell's Kitchen, to you at home, we say, as always, pleasant nightmares.
It's getting kinda hot down here. The smoke's so thick, hey, I can't see. Now I know there's something wrong, and I hope I ain't right, because I think I have died and gone to hell. Now I don't recall seeing St. Peter, and I didn't hear a verdict read. I've got this strange sensation that someone's been mistaken, because I have died and gone to hell. Now I can appeal to a higher court. I guess my fate is sealed. As bad as I felt before, this pain hurts much more, because I